Hey everybody, it's Mike with Monkey Fab. Today we're doing Honda stuff. So a friend of mine called me up and he's got a buddy he's working on his car. It's a NSX, and I guess the new hotness in the Honda world is J-swapping everything. And they got in a bit of trouble. They got these really nice headers, and they got these oil pans, but the oil pan with this little bat wing that they've added to it doesn't want to fit anymore. So here's the problem: is we are not flush, and then all this pipe is hitting this stuff down here, and yeah. so do your fabricator friends a favor, and when you need fabrication, don't help. Just bring them the problem, and bring it to them clean. If you love them, bring it to them clean. Don't put oil in it, and don't try to modify it yourself. And that'll save you time and money. It'll definitely save you money and probably time, and all these things are valuable to us. So neat engine. Really kind of read up on these guys, and very interesting. I've been kind of half debating putting an S2000 swap inside the Volvo wagon, just because I think it's a neat drivetrain. I really enjoyed driving that car. It was a neat transmission and neat driving experience, but the interior of the car, that S2000, was just like, I'm like a midget, man, and I felt like I was just being cramped in there. I don't know how big people do it, because it's a small little interior, I thought very uncomfortable. But anyway, I was looking at doing the S2000 swap in there, and then these guys got to talking to me about these guys, and it's I think a narrow angle, probably like a 60 degree, just guessing, V6, so it's a little bit more narrow. So he said that this is narrower than the NSX engine that they're taking out, and has more power, which makes sense because it's a newer engine. And you can see it's got the VTEC going on. Just a real interesting engine. There is a company that makes a kit to bolt it onto a TH400. The starter's on the bottom though, which is kind of odd. I don't know. Just depends on how it sits in the chassis or whatever. But interesting engine. I wonder what it would do turbocharged. I had a lot of fun with my old. I had an old Honda. It was a 1990 SI hatchback, and I really enjoyed that car. I had a B16 with a GT28 71 turbo. And it was just a go-kart. It was a lot of fun. I really miss that car. I miss it all the time. Every time I think about it, I'm mad that I sold it. I got a Corvette C5 Z06, and just was not as fun as the little Honda go-kart. So anyway, I thought I'd take you guys along as I suffer through trying to unscrew this guy, and maybe it'll be worth watching. It's raining pretty good now, so I apologize for the background noise. It's a tin building. Yeah, they fit. It's snug, man. I'm gonna trim this back a little bit right in here, and a little bit down, y'all, just to get that up off that pipe. And this front one, as you saw, was pretty hairy. The guy cut it like 3 different angles. It was just like kind of all crazy and wonky. So I tried to get it to kind of mirror itself, so we could run one strip to kind of cover it all. And it's not my favorite solution, but it is a solution. So we're gonna get to cleaning this up, clearancing this just a bit more, and we should be good to make another strip to fit inside here, maybe like an L maybe strip, like an angle, and just kind of recess it in and weld it in there. So here we go. Something unpredictable, but in the end there's right. I hope you had the time of your life. Hello. All right, so lots of grinding, lots of cleaning, and it's still probably gonna weld like shit, but that's what cast aluminum does. So we got this guy getting here. This guy's gonna kind of bloop. Unfortunately, the headers was actually hitting the factory pan, so I had to cut quite a bit more, maybe an inch right here. You can see 1.5 inches more out of it. And yeah, I'm gonna have to do like a little weave action here to kind of cover this little gap up there. And then we got this guy, no, and we'll bang it on. And there. So what I usually do is, you see I've cleaned this all up with the die grinder. All around where we're going to weld on the cast stuff. And what I'll do is I'll put my torch on. I'll put a map torch on this guy and just get it hot, try to get all the crap to burn off of it. Here is what we got. It is on there, and it's clearanced. It's not touching. And all we basically did was, this guy was cut out, so we just kind of reshaped it so it's kind of hopefully on the same plane. It wasn't completely, but we were able to kind of beat it into submission. You saw me use a clamp, kind of hold it down and hit it with my mallet. I have like one of the soft mallets, and then just tack it in there, buzz it on. Same with this side. I mean, we basically just kind of eyeballed it and clearanced it out. The best advice I can give is try to keep straight try to keep right angles. If you can keep right angles when doing this kind of work, then it makes yourself not necessarily right angles, but you know, angles on the same plane. Like this isn't a right angle, but it sure makes life a lot easier than when you have complex, you know, compound curves or whatever going on. It's a lot easier to do flat folds on the stuff, you know, on your when you're working with your metal, I guess, especially if you don't have like you know, all the tools for metal working. But yeah, this guy, it welded on really nice. The backside was surprisingly good. It welded on really clean. The front side, it was not. You could tell where the person that welded on before me was having some trouble, and I got into that trouble too. As soon as I got in the front here, I actually had to put two passes on this. I had to put one and then grind most of it back down, and then put another one on. And I had to use 43 seemed to work best here. On the rest of it, I used 5356 on it. Helpful hints I can give you when working with cast aluminum is just cleanliness. It has to be clean. Go in there and clean it off if you can. Where you have to weld at, take a die grinder and just, you know, grind that surface off of it the best you can. I mean, dig a 1/16 of an inch, or you know, a 10-20 thou deep into it to try to get as much stuff off the top of it as you can, especially if it's an old used one. Clean all the oil, all the paint, all the grime out of it. It has to be clean. Sometimes people think that that term cleaning action, when you're talking about your AC balance, that somehow that's magically going to clean the material. And what it does is it breaks up the oxides on the oxide layer of aluminum and other metals. It doesn't clean. It's not going to get rid of paint. It's not going to get rid of grease, oil, dirt, rust, any of that shit. So you don't just crank your AC balance down and think you're going to use a lot of cleaning action to magically clean away the oil or whatever it is. That doesn't work. You have to actually physically, you know, do it. Heating it up seems to help a lot too. Just so you know, the hotter you can get it. If you can get it, you know, hot enough that stuff will flash off, you know, burn any of that grease and stuff off. That tends to help. If you can, wire brush it as well. Oh, okay. Another thing you'll see when I'm welding on this side here, I got in so much trouble up here on the front side with the porosity in that cast that what I did is I did crank my AC balance down to like about 60, 65, and I just went over the entire cast area that I was going to weld, and I just heated it up. I'm, you know, going along, heating it up, and maybe puddling it just a little bit. Maybe I puddled, you know, a 1/16 of an inch wide strip along the area where I was going to weld. And that helps clean it up a little bit, and it also kind of gives me an idea of where I'm going to see problems at, because you're going to see you know, porosity bubbling through or whatever. It will show up when you start puddling that stuff. But that's just I've done that, and it helps. I probably should have done that on the front part. I did the second time that I did it. I went back and kind of did that, but a lot of it was just almost pasting filler wire over, you know, where I was having issues at, and just kind of brazing it in there. You just got to do what you got to do on the aluminum. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the project. I hope you guys maybe got something out of following along. And be sure to go to my website. It's monkeyfabgarage.com. All kinds of fabrication parts, weld-on bungs, and fittings, welding supplies. We got those GLS cups that are made off Teflon, number 16s, number 12s. We got it. So go to monkeyfabgarage.com, check it out. I appreciate you guys dropping by and checking out the video. Until next time, this is Mike from Monkey Fab signing out.